Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the town. We are your Patti is effervescent. I am less dazzling today. Your neighborhood-friendly Kiwi touch from Middle Earth, New Zealand.
And Patti, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her fantasy romance era.
Settle down onto your favorite city as we delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the ton. This Bridgerton podcast is two friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, and just like my voice today, deep, diving into the connections of our favorite characters. We cover both book, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain spoilers and potentially coughs.
Sneezes, whatever. Dearest listeners, for anyone familiar with pop culture forbidden romance, we are heading to My Cottage today, or The Cottage for heated rivalry fans. It is cottagecore season. We have watched the third episode and will now expound upon our first impressions of this most delicious and delightful episode. We seek and find our pinnacle in forbidden moments alone, in lakes, carriages, and drawing room, and we too need a cold refreshment. Speaking of refreshments, what are your pod snacks today, Tosh?
My pod snacks are lackluster, like my immune system. It is just water.
I see your water, and I raise you a late dinner. I'm having leftover Chipotle bowl from yesterday. I had a late lunch today. I had a Valentine's Day date. Not that kind. It was not a suitor. It was a work friend who was in town. He's from another location of ours, and he comes into town once a year, and we got together for lunch. Both of us not thinking about it being Valentine's Day. And when we show up and we have to wait 45 minutes to be able to get sat, we're like, happy Valentine's Day.
Honestly,
but that was fun.
Happy Valentine's Day to all those out there that celebrate it. As you can tell, my Valentine's shared with me the most wonderful present of all, his germs.
Right.
And then took another person on the romantic date that I had planned. He got to go to the fireworks festival with our lovely new student and her friend on her first, I'm not going to say play date, but play date. Her first friend that she's met in the country, and he took them out to the fireworks festival, which is done to the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra in New Zealand once a year, and it's a really beautiful event that I could hear from my balcony and see just the tip.
Just the tip.
I want
she
the
sent
whole
video. I
wanted the whole pinnacle, not just the tip.
She only got teased with the tip, friends.
I feel very much like Francesca in this episode.
Like what is that? Is that a pinnacle?
I was just left wanting more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
Okay, and our sponsors for today for Pod Snacks, as we have just rescheduled our episode 2 rewatch. So our Pod Snacks donations have come from Di, Maria, Anne, Sarah, and a new entrant, Claire.
And I'm so excited to see Claire's information that she gathers for us as our eyes in the sky.
Yeah, we have plans, dear listeners. We are attempting to work out the timing because Claire is in between us. So her timing is it's a little bit difficult. She might take a nap the day we do the watch party because for her it'll be 2 a.m. But we're trying to record with her because she is going to see the Bridgerton costumes exhibit at the Liberty. And so we're trying to work out the timing so that she can join us and talk about it and chat and tangent, and it will be lovely.
Which you know how much I love a good costume. I have thoughts on today's costumes. Even though it's just an overview. You can't control me.
This is our moment. This is our moment to just fangirl as Bridgerton fans. We can save the analysis for later. We have to tell ourselves, my mom. We have to tell ourselves, like, okay, calm down. Calm down.
I will not, cannot.
Cannot, will not, do not want to.
I will not eat green eggs and ham.
What are you saying? I'm quoting season 3 and you throw Dr. Seuss in there?
Yeah.
That chip gave me a speech impediment. I had a lisp because
it's I would not, could not on a boat. I would not, could not on a moat. I don't know. I don't remember the exact. It's behind me. But it just gave me the same vibe. Rest assured, gentle listeners, just because I'm sick does not mean that I will have any less shenanigans. Speaking of shenanigans, let's start this episode out by discussing, do we jump into maid wars? No, we'll start out where we're supposed to. We'll start out, I mean, this isn't going to be in any sort of chronological,
no, it's impressions.
It's just impressions. Missed.
Yes.
This made me laugh so much because they are already a married couple fighting over something inane, and then when the blatantly obvious that one of the couple stated comes true, and the other person's like,
still can't admit
it. No. Because Steven and I have these battles all the time about the most inane things in the world, like us being in Bunnings and fighting over what size the inflatable gingerbread man Christmas decoration is, to the point that we go and ask the staff member to find the box to tell us how big it is. And then we started an entire guessing game between the staff of how big the stupid decoration is.
Yeah, my ex and I always, actually, Smaug too, when we lived together, there's always an argument that you have when you are out in the wild and you are trying to find something that you need in your home. You have that conversation of, will it fit?
I mean, never underestimate girl math. Like, boys, they've got their precise measurements.
I won those arguments both times.
I won it too because, like, I think by, okay, what is something similar that I know? And then how many times is that? How tall am I? Okay, that looks about 3 of me. So I guesstimate based on that. 3 of me is still not very much height. Just putting it out there.
I grew up playing Tetris. I just see it as I have really good spatial awareness. Not for myself. When I'm walking out in the world, I run into corners and chairs, and I know that's proprioception or whatever, but I don't know where I fit, but I can fit other things in places.
The immediate commentary between Benedict and Sophie was giving me life, like him being stubborn, Sophie being stubborn, and she's very practical. Like, I love. Let me just actually preface this whole thing with, I love that they've learned from last season and they have given us an entire episode that is centered very solely around building the couple, building the background, the connection between them.
We still see side stories, but not to the extent of season 3. It's enough to break up the time and to show a little bit of passage of time.
Yes.
It's basically, we know these two in this huge house have idle time, sleep time, time where they're not together. And that's when we see a side story. It worked really well. And we got a lot of screen time with this couple.
To go from a full-blown cut situation, bleeding mess of Benedict's scar, or not scar at the time, wound, to a mostly healed scar by the lake episode, tells us that there was also some passage of time, I would guess 2 weeks to go from that wound to...
And that's what it was in the book, because he got so sick. They were at My Cottage for 2 weeks. He had to send a letter to his mother because she would worry, because he left for the weekend.
Yes.
And then didn't show back up home. So he sent a letter saying he fell sick.
Like, everyone worrying about where he was. He just disappeared.
Disappeared, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Whistledown, actually, because she is writing again about the maid wars. And I love the way that they have done the maid wars, and because it was a big part of not a big part, but like it was a funny part of the book as well. And I'm really
It was the funny part of his book, yeah. The comedy came from the maid wars.
Yes, so I'm really glad that, Jess Brownell has said that when they first sit down to write out these seasons, the first thing they do is they say, what were the big moments from we're going to put...
None of them read Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, obviously.
They read the Cliff Note. But I will acknowledge that was her first foray on her own.
Yes.
She's learned.
We say that often. It was her first time being a showrunner ever.
Yes. So, I mean, it's really hard for us because Colin is our favorite. So it is really, really hard to see, especially Colin's character kind of get trampled over and overlooked in so many ways.
I still stand by the fact that because of when the Writers Guild strike happened and Netflix was said to be the biggest culprit of it, that Netflix pushed AI writing. So I think that, I still think, it's just my own speculation. This isn't, I didn't read this anywhere. It's not truth. I think it's speculation because of the timing of events.
Yeah.
That a lot of season 3 was AI written to save money per Netflix. And that is part of the reason she did rewrites. When she saw Luke in the play, that's just a good reason to say she did the rewrites, because they weren't announcing to the world they were using AI to write their shows. So that's why you see a lot of shows have similar scenes in them that Netflix does, because they were using AI writing for a while to save on career, not, they were doing contract writing work instead of hiring a writer for a whole show.
Yeah. But what I will say is that she does seem to have learned her lesson from season 3 and kept in a lot more of the core moments of season 4. Like, I mean, the kite scene wasn't a moment from the book, but and it seems to be a scene that they've really centered the story around, like them building this connection, flying the kite, and I think the reason that they said that they did that was because Benedict kind of has his head up in the sky and Sophie is so grounded, and he is teaching her to let go while she is learning, like, she is him to ground himself a lot more in reality.
But a part of their story too, the reason he gained this connection is because she secretly stepped into his world and he thought she was part of it. And when he meets her as Sophie, because he's so kind and he's treating her like a guest, the lines between their worlds are blurred at My Cottage. And I think they did an amazing job of doing that, because Benedict is the free spirit and he already lives outside of society and is like not liking the stuffiness of society. But because he rescued her and she went through an ordeal, he's treating her like a guest instead of a servant, because he is thinking that's being kind, because she was dehumanized by Cavender and his crony. So he's healing her, he thinks. You know what I mean? Like, she went through a trauma, basically. But in that time of kindness, they're able to get to know each other without, he's a mister, he's a second, but he's still in the peerage, and she's still a servant, but they're able to put that aside. She doesn't look the part. He doesn't look the part, because he's hurt. He's dressed down. He's in, breeches.
So you know
barely
what this is?
Clothes and an open shirt.
This is a holiday romance where you go on holidays, you meet someone, it is the most magical, wonderful experience ever, and then you come home and you go back to reality, and the relationship doesn't work in reality necessarily. Or it may. Or
you got to figure out how you can make it work. Yeah.
And that is very much what Mrs. Crabtree and even Violet is kind of hinting at, is that Benedict constantly lives in this fantasy world, and that's just not reality. Like, at some point he needs to face reality and figure out, can I make reality be as
reality's difficult for him, because I think of all the siblings who are dealing with trauma with their father's death, he's the only one that actually isn't dealing. He is doing everything he can to escape. The drinking, the partying, the sex.
It's all endorphin seeking.
Yes, whatever he can do. And I do something that I did, I noticed in the last few episodes, I say, we say we love this, we love that a lot. So I really appreciate that they focused on unfinished projects, that he starts things and he doesn't finish them. He has paintings. He even said all of his paintings were unfinished. All of them were unfinished. And we know from seeing the drawings of the Lady in Silver, all of those are unfinished. They can't be finished because he remembers her at a mask. Right? So even the Lady in Silver is part of his past. Because once he does deal with whatever it is that's causing him to run from things and escape, he'll be able to be with Sophie.
So you know how you were like, we're just doing an overview. We're not.
I know, we're already getting analytical. We're not even doing first impressions. We don't know how to just fangirl on the surface, folks. We are deep, deep waters. We're not shallow waters, people.
Okay, so
sorry, Benedict.
On that note, the field next to the other road, right? This is a painting. This is the title of this episode. It is a painting, and its meaning is it looks like a fourth grader drew the painting, and it's worth
Yeah.
$37 million, but I digress. It represents a blend between personal rural memory with divine or spiritual symbolism.
Really, somebody had their nephew paint it and made up some, this is what it means. I really did paint this. It is worth $37 million.
But it's all about going on like a spiritual journey. And I read a whole thing about it, and then I obviously
Well, I think My Cottage is their spiritual journey. It's them being together in the in-between. And the reason I'm laughing about that is because that is another theme with another story this season. They are trying to live in the in-between.
Yeah, they are. Because like it's talking about it represents a blend of personal rural memory with divine or spiritual symbolism, which is kind of what Benedict is doing. Like he's trying to blend his worlds together. Like out in the countryside, we can be whoever we want to be. I'm not a second son.
I'm not
of
a second
Lord.
son. I'm not responsible for anything. Yes.
No, he just gets to live in this like kind of
and Mr.
not
Crabtree,
like
Mr. Crabtree said he loves it here in the country. He's here often, but we haven't seen him for a while. And Benedict said, well, I've had to deal with my responsibilities and other affairs, right? Yeah. So one, he can't have those affairs with Mrs. Crabtree around. We know this.
He would not. She would smack him silly.
She would not have a bar of it. Not at all.
No.
So he hasn't been around because he didn't want his mother finding out till she strolled up in his man cave.
Like Mrs. Crabtree gives me extreme Varley. No, more so Mrs. Wilson. Like where they're respectful. This is their master. But we're also sort of your mother figure who raised you from a child and will treat you as such. Like they're very much a mother figure.
So Mrs. Wilson and Mrs. Crabtree are both similar ages, right? Just roll with me on that because this is something I just thought about. A lot of times servants do not get married, but a Mrs. Wilson and a Mrs. Crabtree could be sisters because they both married.
I did say to you that they were similar age, and I'm sure that Mrs. Wilson taught Mrs. Crabtree, and that's why they're quite similar.
I don't even know about taught. I think they were at Bridgerton House as sisters, and they both married somebody within the home because it is allowed. It's just not usual.
Yeah.
You know, like even in Downton Abbey.
Well, because if you were positioned elsewhere, then you'd be separated.
Yes, but a lot of times married couples they try not to position them elsewhere. Usually they'll change what you do in a way so that you can stay together. Like if you're a lady's maid and you're supposed to go with the daughter of the house to another home,
yeah,
you may get a different position within the home so that you stay in the home where your husband is. But I almost feel like because their vibes are very similar, I feel like except Mrs. Wilson is all for nighttime tea.
Yeah.
Mrs. Crabtree is like, no, that's daytime only, and you're sitting over there and you're sitting over there and I'll sit in the middle.
But that's different because she's already been married and she's being discreet. I mean, I do think that Mrs. Crabtree is maybe being a little bit stuffy, but like also I'm not.
But I also think that Mrs. Crabtree understands that he has not been married yet, and she likes Sophie, and what she tells Mr. Crabtree is true. If women think that a maid they don't want you around the sullied house by a gentleman of the home, they're going to worry that she is the Jezebel and that she's going to tempt their husband.
Which I mean happens. Yeah. Eloise and Hyacinth. The fact that Eloise, every single time that she thinks that she is going to get a reprieve from being on the marriage mart, one of her family members just slaps her in the face with yet another punishment for being off. Like first in the last episode we had Benedict coming in acting like her knight in shining savior armor and then throws her to the wall. This episode she's like, oh, Benedict has come and talked to me and showed me the error of my ways, so instead you can teach your sister how to be a good debutante. Well, as if she is good one herself.
I love the fact that when Violet goes, it makes me think, I'll tell you the meme it makes me think of or whatever. But when Violet said, you can stay and supervise Hyacinth's finishing lessons, and Eloise goes, no. It makes me think of that little girl that eats the wasabi and goes, help.
Yeah.
And then Hyacinth is like, oh, you can benefit from them too, especially the posture lesson.
I love Hyacinth because like that girl does not miss a beat. She
No.
is so cheeky. Like as I was saying in the last in our first impressions, like she very much has the poise and awareness of the social etiquette rules the same as Daphne. Like
Of
she
Daphne.
would 100% be a diamond of the season, but she has pizzazz.
She has the humor of Benedict and Colin.
Yes, she
She's
definitely does.
got their cheeky humor,
She
and she has the
has
poise of
brothers.
Daphne. Yeah,
Like,
she's the baby of this family. You can just tell she's an amalgamation of all of the examples that came
yeah.
before her.
And that's the thing. That's the difference between her and Daphne. Is Daphne, I just found Francesca, I found a little bit boring. Not that there's anything wrong with boring. Like they're still interesting in their own ways, just not. I like a sassy character. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sassy character.
I'm sassy. I like sassy.
Yeah, sassy meets sassy. So
And I think Daphne had to be serious. I didn't see Daphne as boring. I saw her as serious.
Parentified.
Francesca is white wonder bread. She is boring.
Like I'll at least give Daphne that she is maybe like Hokkaido milk, like that super fluffy, like just buoyant. Like it's
No,
elevated.
she's serious. She's soda bread. She's soda bread.
It's as good as bread is gonna get, but it's still Japanese Hokkaido.
Yeah, I just see her as soda bread. Like she is serious. She is a few ingredients. She is all the rules. You have to be fed. Here's what you put together to get fed. Francesca's white wonder bread. She's spongy, soft, but she's also prefabricated, kind of like she just is trying to act like Daphne. She's like Daphne light.
Speaking of people wanting to act like Daphne, Daphne is a girl that knows how to find her pinnacle. Or shall I say Daphne is a girl who was taught how to find her. I feel bad for John because like Francesca is like, I can't talk to my husband about this. I feel like he would actually have a pretty open and frank conversation with her if she were willing
He
to.
did.
But he is he does, but still not to the level that Simon of saying put your hands, have simulation.
Whatever, but again, whatever. I think that John has not had a lot of experience.
No, doesn't have the education.
And I think he understands that Francesca is a little tismy and
a little.
She's very and we've learned like with her relationship with her mother in this episode, they both are very similar with the details. So but yeah, John tries to open up. He tries to find out if
we're like, okay, you put your hand here, you do a little dance, you do the twister, you scratch the vinyl. What do you call it?
Don't scratch the vinyl. Like, don't scratch the vinyl.
Like,
circles, baby, circles.
The what do you call it? They call it scratching the vinyl. Like when you
it's scratching. It's DJ. Yeah. But no, I specifically saw a TikTok tutorial where she's like, it's that to that sound that's like, this is a work of art, this is bullshit. And she's doing the motions, and one of them was the DJ scratch. And
someone needs to actually, you know what, we need Lady Danbury and her pictures to go sort out poor Francesca.
No, we need Violet to go, why do all my kids come to me wanting this experience? And Danbury's like, wait, I have a book.
No, I wish the Queen was like, I have a book, I saved it from Danbury, I made it into a bound cover.
But and I will say this much. I understand Francesca's concern because, well, one, we just watched Inserts Himself Where last season, who's been married for 18 months, not have any clue what to do in the bedroom. And we know Violet is not the best tutor or discussion in that regard.
And to be fair, if you don't talk to people about it, you're never going to know.
When Penelope asked her, have you talked to John? She's like, no, how could I? How can I have gone this long without knowing? She doesn't want him to think she's stupid.
Yeah.
And that is a direct result, an outcome of Violet's lack of being intimate.
Did you also
being able to speak intimately to teach your daughters?
I also think that they went through quite a dry spell where she was so not put off by, but so thrown by by Michaela's presence in the house that I don't think that they were doing it. And that is why they got away and why John says we have just reignited our passion.
We've just recommitted
attempting.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah, we just restarted trying for a kid recently, which if you're having sex, you're trying for a kid. Like, there's no if, what, but about it back then. Like,
I mean, you may not be trying, but you're trying.
Yeah, you're practicing trying. And now he's saying we're actively trying for a child again. So I do think that Michaela was throwing her off so much that she didn't even want to be touched by him. That's kind of the insinuation that I was getting. That the house just felt so crowded that they couldn't find those intimate moments.
Well, and she is very embarrassed by the act, I think. Like, she understands it, but she doesn't want Penelope. When Penelope starts saying words that hit a little too close to home, she's like, okay, Penelope. And then she's like, without details.
Well, that's also because it's like, you're talking about my brother here. Like, I don't want to know what spots he's hidden when the carriage goes over that bump.
But considering how she spoke with her mother as well and how flustered her mother got, also, I think it's women are not supposed to speak openly about sex. And I think it was a struggle for her. So I think that she was embarrassed by it. And she was probably concerned that if anybody walks by their door, like, when you had your first time, did you think like somebody's going to notice? I'm going to look different? Like, something's going to be different about me?
Should look different or feel different, or like something in you fundamentally changes, but nothing actually.
I think that Francesca was worried that people would know, that Eloise would know, that Michaela would know. So she just couldn't bring herself to do it.
Danger, Will Robinson.
But I love a few things I love about this episode and what we get from Bridgerton that we don't really get with other shows is we get to see a good, intimate conversation between a married couple about a problem they're having in the bedroom.
Yes.
She has some embarrassment, right? She's afraid to admit things she doesn't know. Mm-hmm. But he's very open.
And you know what? I actually think that this is still, like, even though we have everything available on the internet that we could ever possibly want or need, like, I think there is still a lot of relationships out there where we have still been taught, even in 2026 now, that it is shameful to ask for your wants and needs to be met. And like,
people have
someone commented, I think it was actually Kay the other day, that said that some women can't get off from penetration alone. And I'm like, what do you mean some? It is most. Majority cannot get off from penetration. And unless...
Well, and the truth is where the nerve endings are, because I watched a TikTok of a person who that is their, like, what they do for a living, women's studies, and showed the anatomy of the clitoris, which is not just the bean. There's more to it.
Yes.
But no part of it is up inside. None.
No.
So it has to be stimulated from externally.
Yes.
And
it is only if you were in a position in which you are getting that stimulation whilst getting the penetration that will occur, in my opinion.
And normally you have to stimulate to a pinnacle prior to inserts himself where to potentially have one, unless it's certain positions, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're bread and butter, it is better to have at least one pinnacle before he inserts himself, right? To be able to pinnacle during penetration in your bread and butter moment. Happy wife, happy life. Like, men think if they just stick it in, it's going to happen. It's not. Wow. There's some pre-work that needs to be done.
Someone needs to have a conversation with Francesca about, that was a very long way to say, foreplay, please, for the love of God. 1, 2.
We're not embarrassed to have this conversation.
1, 3,
yes.
4.
1, 2, 2, 4. 4, 3. Come on, Monica.
Come on, Monica.
You need to go help our girl. But the thing is, we're not embarrassed to talk about it. We're just trying to figure out ways to talk about it that isn't disgusting yes, because we're on Spotify and YouTube.
I have no shame, to be honest. And
I'm just trying.
Family don't listen.
And I'm trying to use references from the show to make it fun. That's all.
I'm a pop culture reference
But
queen.
Francesca knows nothing. And her mother doesn't help her, so she ends up going to Penelope. And Penelope, girl, that was a good school. Although you tried to do
I saw the look on her face. She was trying to explain it to Francesca whilst getting caught up in the memory of it, and then was like, "Oh, that's right, that was great."
well,
Like,
and I think so. Not at the double date, but when Francesca came to the house,
mm,
I think she remembered Francesca saying without details, so
mm.
she tried to go into that innuendo. You know how when you learn to play piano, and Francesca's like, nope, we're beyond that.
I'm done with my mum's double talk. Just give it to me straight.
I am done with imagery. I am done with whatever. I just need the
I think
facts.
she needed some imagery, to be honest. She needed to be
She
shown
needs visual aid.
this is the hole. This is the part that you need to
Yeah.
focus on, as well
Focus
as
on the bean. Learn how to pinnacle yourself first, and then you and John can do it together.
foreplay is fundamental.
Well, and I think that's what Penelope was trying to say, but didn't target. She's like, you need to create anticipation and all this. It's not just the moment. You've got to build up to it. And I'm like, carriage mutt? But I mean, Penelope and Colin are nothing but flirtation all the time. So
Yes.
I mean, even when they were just friends, they flirted with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't know how to not.
Yeah.
But I mean, that leads into,
okay.
so I love that
wanted
conversation, but it also leads into Violet.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
Violet and Lord Anderson, because it's the same. Like she's trying to have this conversation with Lord Anderson and she's stumbling over her words also. But here's what I find funny. Lord Anderson has only told her he wants to spend time alone.
Yes.
That's all. They spent time alone in his drawing room. He was happy with the kiss, with holding hands. He got to kiss her hand. Nobody interrupting, because when they're at her house, it's constant interruption. He just says he wants to spend time with her alone. Violet, the garden in bloom that she is, immediately is like, we're going to do it.
Well, right before this conversation, she's like talking to the host and she's like, your garden is so lovely. And I'm like, yeah, I know you appreciate a well-maintained garden.
But like she's sitting in the room with him like, I don't even know how to explain this to my kids. I very much want to spend time alone with you. I want to be alone with you. I want to do this, but I don't know what I'm doing. And this body, oh, and then it was so great with Edmund, but was it because it was Edmund or is it me or what? Like she's just freaking out over it and he's just like, my girl, chill, spend with you.
It was absolutely giving me Ali and Noah first time in the Notebook, where he's literally sticking it in and she is word vomiting all over this man, and he's like,
yeah,
can you just be quiet? like he's not trying to be mean or anything, but it's just like, just enjoy the moment. Let the moment be the moment.
But I love that he just wants to spend a few minutes alone with her uninterrupted. Like I honestly think he's being gentlemanly and he's not thinking about tending garden yet, but she immediately goes to garden tending, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's hilarious.
Well, I do and I don't, because I don't understand this whole second act, like wanting it to be a love match, all these things. And now all I'm seeing for the promos for part 2 is just sex and not. But there was a part where it was like, you are in love, are you not? And it was Alice.
And they're hugging.
And I feel like it was pointedly at Violet, are you in love with Lord Anderson? Are you not? You know?
No, there's a moment where the two of them are hugging in the trailer for part 2, and the speaking over part makes me wonder if he proposed.
Well, I think it's going to be Hyacinth that says, Mum, we are grown now, like we loved our dad, you know, but you can love
Hyacinth
another.
never knew.
I know.
Never knew Edmund, so I feel like it's gonna have to be one of the older kids to tell her it's cool, Mom.
I feel like it's going to be
and
one
it might
of the
have to be
ones
Benedict,
because she thinks that she's got to be there with for them so much still. Like, I still have to chaperone the ton. I still have to do this. I still have to do that.
But she doesn't, because that's Anthony and Kate. Anthony and Kate are letting her do it because she wants to, not because she feels like she has to. She knows she's supposed to give that up, but she hasn't. Like she even said that in season 3. I haven't found a dowager house yet. She wasn't ready to give up. I mean, the children would still live with her, but Anthony and Kate would be responsible for their debuts onto the ton and all of that. So
Yes.
because they're the Lord and Lady now, the
I did
Viscount and
really
Viscountess.
like we kind of said in the impressions one. I love these raw moments, and I think the
This
reason
is impressions too, by the way.
yeah. Like I feel like the reason that so many people have related to Violet and Lord Anderson because it feels more real. Like it feels real life.
Oh, you meant in our live reactions.
Yeah, live
thing,
reaction.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Like it feels like we're at an age. So the main demographic, if our listeners are
I'm
anything
at
to
an
go
age,
by,
yeah.
it's because it's both of ours. Like the main demographic of Bridgerton is actually 30 to 55 roughly.
Yeah.
With some spray on either side, obviously. It's not kids watching this. So it's not people going through their first loves. It's not people dating for the first time. It is married women. It is divorced women. It is widowed women. It is women in a single, like in a marriage where they are single,
and
essentially still.
it's women who, for the most part, for most of us, well, for some of us, if it's been a long time, I've not been quiet about the fact that I let my garden go dormant for a while. And there is that concern when you decide to get back out there, or if you're considering it or thinking about it, that you wonder, is your body going to work the same? Because we're of an age, Violet is of an age where her body is in transition. Like she is peak menopause, right? At her age.
I would say she's like ending, but you can definitely see the fluster and the heat flushes and all that kind of thing.
Well, the garden in bloom part, the garden in bloom part from Queen Charlotte, which was a couple of years ago now in her timeline, was definitely a part of perimenopause where your hormones go wonky and you have heightened sexual arousal a lot because your hormones are just going nuts. It's like I equated it to, because I went through that period in my mid 40s, like 44 to 46. I was like, in world on but it kind of felt like, you have fireworks, you go see fireworks and they're pretty, they're nice, they're happening, and then they do that
nice
grand
when those
finale
get
at
to
the
go
end.
see fireworks for Valentine's Day, isn't it? Thanks for rubbing salt into the wound.
In the US we go on the 4th of July. But and some places do them at Christmas. But most places, when I go to fireworks, they're really pretty, they're nice, they're perfectly timed. And then the last like 4 to 5 minutes is, we call it the grand finale, and they're just shooting everything they have left up in the air. And that's, to me, what that period of time was, is her body was going through the grand finale. And not to say that that's when sex ends, it isn't, but that's, your hormones are like, hey, we're running out of eggs. If you're going to make a baby, you need to do it now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's at the point now where she still wants to tend her garden, but that part's calmed down a little bit. But she's definitely, her body's changed, and she knows that. She's bore children. She's not the debutante anymore, but she feels like one inside, because this is a new romance, and there's a lot of insecurity with that, like, is he going to, I find him attractive, but is he going to find me attractive? Like, she knows what that corset is doing, right? She knows where it's cinching her in. She knows that she's got loose skin where she carried 8 pregnancies. And there's, her body isn't perfect. Although in episode 4, she took a look and she goes, hey, it's not as bad as I thought.
Although there is actually a substantial age gap between Lord Anderson and Violet, or at least they're actors. There is a substantial age difference from about 15 years, but I do think that they aged Marcus up in the show to be more similarly aged, because obviously there's only a 4-year age gap between him and Lady Danbury, who we know to be about in her early to mid 70s.
Six. Didn't she?
I thought she got married at 14.
16?
I thought she was 14.
It 14?
She got sent off at 14, I thought.
No, she got sent off at 4.
No, she got sold at 4.
She left Sierra Leone at 4. She was raised by her future husband's family. She was bought and sold at 4 and left Sierra Leone at 4 years old. She said in this season, I haven't been to my homeland since I was 4.
Yes, but she was still with her family because she tried to run away before they got married when her brother was 10.
Yeah, she tried to run away and her brother told her father. I think they lived in the area, but I think they had to come to England because she was sold. She was going to marry this man and he wanted to help raise her, which, ew. too, you know? So what else are we talking about? Impressions. Let's talk about the queen's wigs in this
I want to
episode.
talk about, you want to talk about what?
The queen's wigs in this episode. They're weird.
Because I wanted to talk about Eloise, but then you went into Violet instead. I wanted to bring
because I was talking about those connections. I think they do those stories very well. Like Violet sucks at talking about sex, and we saw that even with Lord Anderson, but I don't think Lord Anderson was going there. I think she was. That is my
But it's so funny
synopsis.
that, like, in season 1, you know, Eloise wanted to know all about all the things that she doesn't know about as a woman, that all the men get to know about, how babies are made, like what is the process. And now Penelope knows the process and can actually share it with her.
Has not told her.
No, because I don't think Eloise
she could.
wants to
They're
know.
best friends. Well, she doesn't want to know about her brother, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, you can very, very much see with the scenes from going with her now having to chaperone Hyacinth's lesson and her walking in, and you said it in the last episode we recorded that it was fine when it was double date, because then it was couples going out with couples. I don't want to put up with my brothers. I want to hang out with Penelope, not Colin. You know, I don't want to hang out with Pollen. But now it's Francesca and John don't even have a couple's name. Jonesca.
Jonesca.
I think Jonesca sounds the best. Jonesca and Pollen, like, I don't want to hang out with them. They're gross. Like, they're coupley. They're talking marriage stuff.
But when she walked into that pinnacle conversation, she was like, what are you doing here? Do not steal my best friend. And she's worried. I think she's worried she's going to lose her best friend because she's not married now.
And then the joke about keeping the biscuits warm. And she knows there was like an inside joke that she was not part of. And I think Eloise really struggles with jealousy. Like, she wants to be Penelope's only.
Yeah. And not just that, but for once, Penelope knows something she does not know.
And it also reminded me that like,
her.
She can only fathom being friends with one person at a time, because like the second that she started fixing things with Penelope, she's like, all right, Cressida.
She can't even be friends with her own sister.
No, she's like, I've got one spot, that spot's filled, out you go.
Hyacinth is trying so hard to like bond with her.
Hyacinth looks so excited to get to bond with her sister, and it was
she was excited. Like, we get to spend time together, and Eloise is like,
we can braid each other's hair. And Eloise is like, I will burn yours off.
I love this scene with the finishing teacher, the governess lady, when Eloise gets all sarcastic and she's great. Like, exactly. And Eloise looks at Hyacinth like, did you not catch I was being sarcastic? Like, she needed somebody to understand her in that moment. Like, she just could not believe. And that's why she went to Penelope's, because she said the same thing. Like, are you guys talking about the struggle of picking the right spoon? And then they had their own inside joke, and she's like, damn it, I can't win today.
Everyone's got the right spoon but me.
Nobody gets me anymore.
I'm all about the right spoon. Sorry, Eloise.
Same. I have a favorite spoon. Not even lying.
I absolutely would have done terribly in that time period, because I'm not eating with the big spoon because you tell me to. Small spoon for everything. Give me multiple small spoons.
Well, not even the spoon thing. For me, the one thing about me that would make me not be a very good hostess in that time is I struggle with, and this is an ADHD thing, I'm pretty sure. You are my friend. I know you. I've gotten to know you. Like, we've not been in the same room together, but I know you, right? So if I invited you somewhere, and let's say I was bringing Smaug and you guys have never met, in my ADHD brain, because I know you and I talk about you, and I know him and I talk about him,
and we talk through
I have assumed you guys have already met. So I never do introductions.
We're friends. We just haven't met or talked directly.
I never do introductions. It has frustrated so many people. Like, are you going to introduce me to so-and-so? And I'm like, you guys are both my friends. You know each other. And I like when I get a group of neurospicy people in the same room. Because like when I did the Friends Christmas and we went and did the paint pouring, I just sat around and I'm like, I love how I don't introduce anyone and you guys just all gel.
Whereas
you all vibe
my
together.
favorite thing was getting to go to my best friend's wedding last week, and I was the MC, so I had to know where all the tables were and where everyone was sitting. And then I sent her a meme today, and it was like, when you sit and get to put all the faces to all the gossip sessions of all the people you never got to, that you haven't met, and now you're putting all the faces to the names. I'm like, this is great. This is my favorite.
Yeah, so I would have been an Eloise back then. I would have completely sucked at introducing people, seating arrangements. I would have put people together for similar interests, not
Penelope's like, on Wednesdays we wear pink. You can't sit with us. She doesn't even go here.
and Hyacinth
This is the
she's
married
like,
women's
well,
club. You can't.
at least
go
I get
here.
the cute silver tassel, and she's like, that's gray.
I
Like
was
you don't even get something sparkly.
mine's silver. Mine's silver.
I'm gonna be white when my
Yeah.
hair goes gray. It won't go gray. It'll be white.
All right.
My mother's was
I've put it
white.
off for long enough, but I feel like I need to finally bring the absolute
Lake.
no. I want to end on a happy note.
We'll end on the lake. We'll end on the lake.
We'll end on the lake. Actually, I like to end on the carriage, especially that bump. That looked good.
Yeah, we'll end on carriage and lake together.
Ripping the band-aid off. Vali. Oh,
Oh, yeah, we got to get through this first because I can't have this be at the end. Oh my
Justice
gosh,
for
Portia,
Vali.
what are you doing?
the look
Portia.
I actually wanted to perform all sorts of physical violent acts against Portia in her face. Like, are you flipping kidding me with that bullshit? You just went through a whole season of emotional development and you're going to pull this. And it wasn't even just a slight against her. It was a full-blown narcissistic, you're not doing what I say, you're not bending to my will, so you can leave.
Well, and remember
leave.
in our react video, I said that this was very, very corporate because when they say, oh, we're all like family, that's like
Yeah.
run very fast. It's a toxic work environment. And we know now, like Shonda says, the reason she picked up Bridgerton and wanted to do it as a series is because she didn't see it as romances. She saw it as a workplace drama. Because women interview, the marriage mart is like the interview process and whatnot. Portia is acting like corporate America. Portia is corporate America. We are family. Our employees are our family. And you don't talk about money amongst family. That's employees do not talk about money with each other, right? And then she says the thing, if I give you a raise, I'm going to have to give everybody a raise underneath you. That also is very corporate America. Please don't talk about if I give you a raise because I don't want to have to give them a raise, or if I give you a raise, everybody's going to want a raise, and we don't want to do
like
that.
She had not been given a raise in
20 years. Yeah. Well, that's because back then, I'm talking about like corporate America now, they'll claim they're giving you a raise of 2.5%, but the rate of inflation is 2.8. The living increase for Social Security this year is 2.8. And most corporate structures, your 2.5 is considered a good raise, but it's not. It's still helping you meet your bills because of the regular cost of living increase. It's not an actual raise. But do you know what I equate the dresses to? Corporate America.
Party?
Pizza party.
Pizza party.
You guys did such a great job. We made so much money this year. Bonuses? What are you talking about? Pizza party.
Yeah.
And Varley's like,
bare minimum or princess treatment. It was bare minimum.
And Varley had to tell her, like, I need a real presentable outfit for my days off. Not what, I mean, she gave her something full of appliques and then something full of feathers. She cannot wear that out. Now, mind you, back in that time, a lot of servants were given the old dresses from the people of the house.
They looked normal.
To rework. Yes.
Not like you killed Big Bird and dyed him green.
This is Bridgerton is fantasy. Dresses were not this elaborate back then. You're talking about the muslin era. Women wore muslin and all they did was buy different ribbons and tie them under their breasts to make a empire waist.
In Pride and Prejudice, they were so excited about going and buying new ribbons.
Yes. Most of the outfits we see in Bridgerton currently, I mean, they're gorgeous, but the Queen's outfits are from her youth. Yeah. And a lot of they're stealing from the Victorian era, which we're not in yet. They're stealing from the Victorian era for some of the outfits, but early 1800s women were in muslin. That's why we did have the reticule, and they do show the reticules, but though these outfits are not muslin. We're seeing velvets, brocades, like really thick fabrics.
I really hope that they
So
do sort of acknowledge why Penelope does not step in here, because I
I
need
don't
an
understand,
explanation.
because honestly, like I can chuckle at the scene where her and Francesca are sitting there for hours and then she finally gets the nerve to ask her what a pinnacle is, except that is not Varley serving them tea, and Penelope does not seem phased by it at all. And that bothers. How is she letting her mother run the house?
Because even
How has
Varley
she not
says, I
noticed
care for
Varley
not
is
just you,
gone?
but your girls too. Like,
Yeah.
Penelope is now the lady of the house.
Yes, I'm really disgusted at this junker.
I just don't understand how they, like, I know they're
I
gonna say,
have
oh, it's just fantasy, just roll with it.
no. There better
No,
be
make
answers
it
in
make
part two.
sense,
There
Bridgerton.
needs to be answers in part two. There
How
has to
many
be
times have I
answers in
said
part
that to
two.
you? Like, I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Jess Brunel, could you please tell me your size or I will guesstimate. I will put it on a shirt and I will house. Make it make sense, please, for the love of God, because this does
You
not
can't
make
just,
sense.
yeah, you can't just put a band-aid on things and say it's fantasy. Don't think too much about it. It still has to tell a viable story. It
Like,
has to make sense.
especially if the characters that you have so specifically built up. We had Varley in last season. Like, even as you said, Varley was one of the only people that was in Penelope's corner while she was
Mm-hmm. The
courting
looking
Ish.
glass doesn't lie. Being
Yes.
proud of her for the money she'd made. Penelope didn't have a lot of that, and Varley was that. There's no way Penelope would let Varley
She
leave that
kept
house.
all of
None.
Varley's, so Varley kept all of Penelope's secrets with her sisters in regards to the fact that it was Penelope that paid for that entire ball for her sister. They are very much not friends, obviously, but like they're a team.
And no offense, Varley. Varley knows that Penn has separate money from Portia.
Mm.
Penn is Whistledown. Why would she have not gone to Penn and say, hey, I want to make more money. I can go to this house and make this much, because Penn would be like, okay,
Not to
I'll pay you out
mention,
of my Whistledown
like,
money.
so, like Mr. Dundas hasn't just disappeared. He doesn't not exist anymore. You just fired the woman that could go to Mr. Dundas and say, actually, none of that
All
money
of
was
it.
from Whistledown. That was stolen from the ton. She has
Mm-hmm.
all of Portia's secrets. Do you think that for a second that Portia is letting that woman out of her sight? Absolutely the hell not. She could ruin the Featherington family so easily, and it's like, are you serious, Portia? How many times are you going to let this family be ruined because of your poor mistakes? That
And
is
she's
more than a poor mistake.
more than one, because she's now working in the home of a person who knows she came from Lady Whistledown's house.
Yes.
And who, look at what she did I'm assuming it's Emma Kenworthy's mother, because they look similar and we think we remember her from season 3.
Yeah.
But at the garden party, when she said, oh, the invitations were sent out before you stole my coachman, and she's like, oh, and he knew exactly how to get me here. He's so resourceful, isn't he? Like, she has no remorse.
Mm.
None. So if Varley gives up anything, Portia's goose is cooked.
Yeah. So like it just none of it makes any sense to me at all. I think this part was actually poor writing. Like they needed the end goal to be like the maid
We haven't
wars
seen
and
the
Barley be
second
involved
half,
in
so
them, but like
we don't know if it's poor writing until we see if they resolve it. Because the whole Dundas thing,
so optimistic.
the whole Dundas thing didn't clear up as quickly as it, like, nobody even mentioned the letter on Colin's desk. Colin knows about Dundas, and now we're supposed to pretend like he has no idea. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
let's talk.
I just, it really, really upsets me the way that Portia, like the turn the head, the I don't care about you, you're dead to me, bugger off. Like it was awful.
But
The
their
whole scene was awful.
relationship is just as close as the Queen and Danbury. And I think that plays into that. Like, Portia got hurt, and it's like, fine, if you want to leave, then leave. And I think Queen Charlotte, the only reason Queen Charlotte doesn't say that, because she is hurt, is because she's the queen and she feels like she can keep her there because she has power over her. And I saw this super great analogy on the interwebs about how this season, and I think you and I were talking about it actually, how this season is all of the stories are relationships that are skewed in power. And how a relationship
that perfect
isn't what we think it is,
yeah.
isn't what we think it is if someone has more power over another person. Because Portia has power over Varley, they're not family. Portia's
So-
not willing to admit it, but Varley is.
Mally actually sent me something on that note the other day, and I was like, we've actually really been talking about that.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. It was in the podcast group, and we were talking about it. I think Mally started the conversation. Did she make a post? And then we were talking in the comments. Mally,
so.
let us know.
Yes, but yeah, well, we'd already been whoops, I had
we've been talking about it because we talked about it. We talked about it with season 3. Yeah.
Yes, we talked about it with season 3, Penelope and Colin, and how Penelope had put Colin on a pedestal for so many years, and it meant that they could never truly be together because there was this power imbalance. Look, Lady Danbury and Queen.
And I feel like he had her on one. Like he didn't feel like he deserved her.
Yeah. Lady Danbury and the Queen. It was never a mutual relationship because Lady Danbury was the Queen's confidant, but it was not vice versa, and that is why she's so protective over Violet, because Violet is the first time in which she has someone who she can confide in equally, and also she feels like and Adjoa just actually stated this in a interview recently as well, that she hopes that people now, having seen Queen Charlotte and knowing the relationship that she had with Lord Ledger, now understands why Lady Danbury has this fondness towards the Bridgertons that she does, because
that's her last link to him.
That is her last link to the man that she loves. The only person that she got to love, the only decision that she ever got to make for herself. And Violet is like the truest representation of her dad. All the most beautiful aspects of her dad shines in Violet and her children as well. And that is why Lady Danbury is so invested in them. But anyway, that is the whole power imbalance. And that brings me to the next my next point was the wise words of Mrs. Crabtree. She is talking to Benedict about the fact that he's saying, oh, we're just friends. But like, you can tell the way that they're acting with each other that there is at least like a fondness, an inappropriate fondness for each other, no matter whether it was going to develop or not. You can see when there is a spark between people. And she's don't sass.
No, I mean, you can see that. Like, even if people are not in a relationship and they're just saying they're just friends, you mean it looks different if it's not? Sorry,
all the ladies on the cruise knew.
Yeah, people know. People can see it. It's obvious.
Yes, but I really like how Mrs. Crabtree kind of brought him back to reality of just knowing his place as well, that because of the power that he holds as being Mr. Bridgerton, he is a Bridgerton. He is, if his brother dies on this fabled not Northwest Passage, he is Lord Bridgerton. He is second in charge of the Bridgerton household. He is currently acting Lord Bridgerton. And with that comes a lot of power, a power imbalance between him and Sophie, that he may say yes, and she may say maybe, and that maybe is well, you're a lord. I don't feel like I have the right to say no.
Yeah.
And granted,
that's the hard part. I mean, Mrs. Crabtree's absolutely correct here, and her advice to Sophie in the kitchen is correct for their time. But I think that leads to their conversation in the study when he's drawing again and she comes in, and we equated that to the willow tree scene where they end up saying that the kiss was a mistake. And I think that her being so harsh in a way, saying she has to do what you want, she has to acquiesce because of her station, because she's a servant. And so he now questions whether she kissed him because she wanted to. And then when they start talking about it, they end up saying it was a mistake. She says it was a mistake, and then he gets hurt. You know, like it'll never happen again. And she walks out, and now he's hurt.
It was just wording, and we've talked about this so many times. Like, just the choice of words. It could have been just 2 or 3 words different. I regret the position I put you in, not I regret it. I regret the position because of the power imbalance. But instead, he says, I regret it. That is words that no one ever wants to hear.
Most conflicts in relationships, especially in the early times of them, come from miscommunication and misunderstanding. Much like, I mean, we have Benedict and Sophie who both want something, but other people are telling them they can't have it. But then, like in season 3, Colin and Penn want something, but they're telling themselves they can't have it. Nobody else is telling them they can't have it. They're doing that themselves. So that's Benedict and Sophie are moving toward this thing, and Mrs. Crabtree just basically gave them both cold showers.
Yeah.
And she came from a good
Speaking
place.
of
She's
a
a
cold
good, she's a
shower,
warm-hearted
shall we,
lady.
seeing as we're talking about a cold shower, shall we discuss the fact that Sophie needs herself a cold shower after that leg scene?
Oh, I needed a cold shower. The only thing that got me through that lake
Peak.
scene is the fact that his scar kept disappearing and reappearing, and
I'm a
he's
vampire.
so
No, I'm not. Yes,
he's so
I am.
clean
No, I'm
shaven,
not.
and the
I'm
water was
sparkly.
sparkly, and it made me think of Edward Cullen. That's what got me through because I was so taken out of the moment because I was like, I know what you want.
Probably because I keep repeating it to you so many times.
But no, when he first came out of the lake,
you have to say it.
I was like, no hair. Like this time that now I'm gonna say
I'm
here, like we
bisexual.
had to rewatch. We had to rewatch because we
Sorry,
unfortunately our live reaction for the first time we watched it did not record. So we rewatched it again today.
Which,
to
be
do
fair,
a second
it was actually
live react.
it was my second time watching it. I've watched episodes 1 and 2 over again, but I had not watched episode 3 because I was waiting for us to do our re-record of it.
I didn't see it again until today when we watched it.
I wanted it to because we watched it at ungodly hours for both of us. So like
that was like 5-6 a.m. Yeah. So for me, so I zeroed in. I was like, oh, there's some hair by his belly button because the very first time I watched it, I was like,
when he's pulling that pants up and it like hitches on the fact that he's got a badunkadunk. I was like, oh,
he's got a little badunka butt. Yeah.
You got an apple.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if they played apple bottom tunes with the fruit, with the girl,
boots, with the fur.
Looking at
but no, like when they zero in on and they go up his chest, that
everybody
shot,
get low, like, low. Please let the pants get low,
let the pants get low. But I was like, oh, he's got some hair by his belly button. Okay, because the very first time I watched it, I was like, no, girl, I've grown up.
I can handle a little bit of hair by the belly button.
Colin has the right amount of chest hair. Like no, Benedict having none, I'm like, ouch. No. I don't even know.
No, I am Greek. I associate hairiness with my family members. I don't want
I can understand
none of that. It is no. I could never date a bald man. Steven will never grow a mustache. I have certain things, certain barriers in my life that I need to maintain. He is not gonna
like when I met Smaug, like he was still growing up, right? We were young, still growing up. So like when I first met him, the man had like 3 hairs total on his chest. Total. I'm not kidding. I could count them. But you know, he became a man with hair. And as that change occurred, I loved him that whole time. So I'm now like I've grown up. I need some hair on a man for me to feel like he's a man.
So
I think with Benedict though, because he acts like a frat boy and he acts like a kid who's stuck in that age of like early 20s, even though he's 30. He gives me that vibe.
Endearing somehow though.
It's endearing, but it also fits that it's almost like he's not matured even in his body in a way. He walks like a 5-year-old. He has a frat boy lifestyle.
Quacks like a duck, is a dog. Fucks like a dog.
He walks like a 5-year-old. His head kind of bobs back and when he comes in and he goes, "It's such a nice day outside, isn't it, Miss Crabtree?" He's just like do.
I love him though. He makes me happy. He's ridiculous. Can we now please talk about that kiss? Because I will say, Pollen's kiss scenes will forever be.
This was just as beautiful as their first kiss.
So vibes, Pollen all day long. Physical look of perfect amount of gentleness, passion, like for how little time they knew each other, that kiss held so much tender love in it, if you get what I mean. Yes. Like it was just the perfect amount of.
It was a very loving kiss when Benedict, we've only seen passion and lust from Benedict before.
Yes, and it was none of that. And so when they first kissed, because he's not even realizing it's their second kiss at this point, like the first kiss was initiated by her. And like, the first time he went to go kiss her, and then he was like, no, she's a lady, I can't do that. And she kissed him. But this time I was a little bit sad that like he went in for it, but then he kind of does. He like holds back and waits for her to close that final distance as a last sign of respect.
Yeah, they closed in together.
But it wasn't him coming onto her as Mrs. Crabtree was kind of saying that power imbalance, like
Yeah.
it was very much mutual. I feel like they both put the same amount of energy into the kiss. Nicola
Right.
was hungry
But
for that tasty treat she had not had for a long time. I'm just saying.
right. But I think that the way the kiss occurred and he did initially go in himself first, he could believe what Mrs. Crabtree was saying.
Yes.
So he allowed what she said to skew his memory of the kiss, right? So he didn't fully remember it, as in the end they came in together. And I will say, like, it was a very beautiful kiss, but their mouths are not balanced in size and shape.
I
Like
thought they
she
were.
has a smaller.
I thought they were
No,
beautiful.
yes, but it looked like his mouth was devouring her lips most of the time. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I just
I thought
they're
it was perfect.
I mean, Nicola and Luke, and I'm sorry to keep comparing it to season 3, but Nicola and Luke's lips, they both have fuller lips. And even though Luke Thompson doesn't have full lips, he's got a big wide mouth. So I felt like there were times that he just engulfed her little, like she has a little perfect rosebud. You know how they talk about the
Yeah.
bow, little rosebud bow mouth? She has that. And he just engulfed it. Like when they first started kissing, it's like you don't see her lips at all. And he's got thin lips. Like, how is his thin ass lips overpowering?
I need to move on because you're being mean now.
I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I think their kiss was beautiful, but I'm like, how is this physically possible? Just like,
speaking
how
of
is he swimming in the amoebas and not getting into his wound? But the wound kept disappearing.
Speaking of the impossible, let's move on to the pinnacle
The
of this
physics
episode.
lesson, the fantasy physics lesson that is the carriage.
I love this though. I've said it before. Mum and Dad are busy. We are busy people. If there is a lookout, we are enjoying it. If there is a carriage, we are taking the long way. I love that they are getting it on. The scene was absolutely the most realistic looking. I mean, outside of obviously the first time, like, and obviously outside of the fact that physically that carriage would have been toppled over 40.
When Luke
40
and
times
Nicola
over.
do a sex scene, they sell it. It looks like you are peeking in the window, like it's real, like it's not acting.
I need to hire myself a carriage ride and recreate that because love all of it. I love the sex. I love the intimacy. I love the not finish, but like
Eskimo kisses, the nose rubs, the laughing over the jolt of the carriage. Like, love that bump.
Love that bump. Could we go down a cobblestone street?
Could we go
please?
back over that bump, please? Like, not take the long way. Can we take the cobblestone street?
Yes. Maybe that's why they created them in the first place. I love all of this carriage scene. Like, it was just it wasn't just smutty. Like, carriage scene 1.0 was just pure lust. It was scared lust. It was, I'm afraid to lose you. I've got all these heightened emotions. But
I also think it was a culmination. I think the first carriage scene for the both of them was a culmination of feelings that have been building for years.
As she said, anticipation makes the pinnacle go pinnacly.
Pinnacles be pinnacling.
The pickle hit the pinnacle.
But I think that was a culmination of years of buildup, right?
Speaking of, actually, Francesca, here is your lesson right here. When woman on top, rub, 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 help, help, pinnacle achieved.
Yes, when you are sticking with Wonder Bread and butter, when you're doing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like this is all
peanut butter and John sandwiches.
But like, it's very vanilla and it just seems boring. Like there's not even noise. They're not even making noise. They're just like, no, that was the next episode.
I know.
But they're just like, that was nice.
Like, I think she enjoys the intimacy of it.
Yes.
She enjoys the closeness. She likes the kissing, you know, like the happy end, and honestly,
because of the issue we have that they are encroaching Michaela prior to the end of their marriage.
Yes.
And they're making the shadow of Michaela shadow over their love, which they're saying they're not doing that, but they are, because they're comparing them to Colin and Penelope. As we say, side stories play into the main. These two side stories are playing into each other because John says, we just recommitted recently. They spent months not being intimate because the castle felt too crowded. There was too many people around. They couldn't get moments alone. Like, Francesca never felt alone with him. And Colin and Penn are showing you they live with her mother, not even her sister, not his cousin, her mother. And they're still finding ways to keep the passion alive and to do it when they can. So that's the juxtaposition that tells you Francesca just doesn't have the same kind of passion for John.
Am I sick on Valentine's Day because I took the opportunity I could? Yes, I am. Worth it? Maybe.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're comparing Colin and Penn and Francesca and John, which you're supposed to because of the scripting and the scenarios, then you are getting that there is something lacking in Francesca and John's love, their relationship. Because unfortunately, making the change they did, which I'm not saying it's a poor change, we won't know until her season how it turns out. They're making it seem like she cannot possibly have the same height of passion with John because she's going to be with Michaela. Michaela is a different sex. But Benedict is a free spirit who's been with everyone, regardless of sex. I mean, he is the Equal Opportunity Employment Act pretty much in human form. And now he's with someone who is hetero, like the relationship will be hetero presenting because she's different. Because she's intriguing.
And I think that we're going to get in part 2, the part where he realizes how different it is when it is with someone you actually care about.
When there's love involved. But that's the thing. My issue with Francesca's story is not the gender bending. It's not the creating a queer story. I have no problem with that. My issue is that they are completely taking a dump on the relationship she had with John. We didn't get to know John. And I love Bridgerton, the show, for giving us a chance to love John too. You know, how his mom says, thank you for letting John love you first. Thank you for letting us fall in love with John first, for us actually getting to know him. But they're just shitting on their relationship like she's not fulfilled. And that is bothering me because her trope is supposed to be second chances, second chance at love, which means your first love was also a love.
And we've seen a lot of the promo pictures where they do truly look. So I do hope that they sort that out and that she finds her pinnacle.
Oh, I hope
we will leave it there on that note.
Yeah. And we'll leave it there. Does Francesca get the pinnacle? Dun, dun, dun.
For today, gentle listeners, we will leave it on that pinnacle and continue on next week's episode. If you have anything in particular you would like us to cover or any Bridgerton knowledge you would like to share, please head to our Facebook page, The Ladies Bridgerton. And if you are enjoying our podcast, please remember to click like, subscribe, and leave comments wherever you are listening.
Forgive Tosh for stumbling over her words.
That was
sick. Come
so
on,
many
people,
stumbles.
Quit judging us. Quit judging us right now.
I was like, man, I should really redo that. I'm not going to.
Subscribe. Please subscribe.
Stop.
And once again, thank you for listening to 2 opinionated, 1 sick, 1 am I besides? I'm a lot of things. But thank you for listening to us again and for letting us talk through our second impressions of episode 3.
Yours truly, Tash the Kiwi, forever in her carriage era.
And Lady Patti, I want to take the long way down the cobblestone streets.